What's up, folks? Justin Garcia here, also known as Master Chim, and I am the author, creator of TRIBALNOMICS, TRIBALNOMICS.com. And while you are watching this video, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. You guys know the game we're playing, and I'm trying to play it better day by day. So today we're going to talk about why, using the lens of TRIBALNOMICS, it is such a bad idea to prioritize people who are, for all intents and purposes, disconnected from you. All right. I've been railing on about this for some time on social media, and I've gotten the pushback that I've come to expect from so many people that are exposed to my messages. But basically, it comes down to, my take comes down to, what is it that you are doing to improve yourself, and why is investing so much energy in a conflict that you really have no direct influence over? Why is it such a bad idea to invest our energy, our resources into that? Prioritizing that disconnected investment, which, by the way, if there is an investment that we don't get a return on, we call that a waste. So why are we wasting our energy instead of prioritizing and investing it in a way that makes us more capable as individuals? So I recall a couple of weeks ago, I had written, and I'm a button pusher. If you don't know me by now, you know that I like to get people going, and usually I'll write things in a way that triggers those people who are just looking to become emotional. And upon second or third, reading of what I've written, they'll realize, okay, the language I used maybe wasn't exactly what they took it as, but a lot of those people still don't want to go back and change their initial premise. They still just want to continue railing on, looking for some sort of catharsis on social media. That being said, a couple of weeks ago, I remember having a lady who I had written that I run out of fucks way before I get to Ukraine. And this lady she called me all sorts of names, and she called me a nationalist, as if that's an insult. She said that we need to help them and all this other stuff. So the first thing I replied to her, and now I will say that I clicked on her profile and I saw it was like an older woman. She's probably like in her 60s. And I don't want to use social media to, start berating and insulting an older woman. Like, it's just not something I want to do. So I said, all right, and it actually helped me, because a lot of times on the internet and social media, I've been doing this for a while, and, I love playing the game back and forth of, just seeing who could win the war of insults, right? And it's something that's entertaining at times, but certainly not always productive. So this lady had asked me what we're going to do, and my response to her was, okay, and I think her name was Mary. I said, okay, Mary, what are we going to do? What should we do tomorrow? Waiting for a reply. And she said, no fly zone. So, you got to understand that, because there are a lot of people right now that are watching this that are going, well, yeah, that's what we should do. Let me ask you a question. Who the fuck are you calling? Who the fuck is Mary calling to install some no-fly zone in a fucking country in Europe? It's like, no, Mary, I asked what we're supposed to do tomorrow. Like, you and me, Mary, what are we supposed to do tomorrow? No fly zone. Like, I don't even know what that means in terms of what I'm capable of doing tomorrow. Are you saying, okay, well, we should what? We should write our elected officials. Okay, that takes 20 minutes. That takes a half an hour. What do you do after that? And it comes down to this deficient relationship with our missions on an individual level, right? So in the book TRIBALNOMICS, I articulate the self-reliance, and I talk about why, like, we're supposed to be our own best friends. And if we are a best friend to somebody else, we know in that application that, if there's something that they're doing where they're going to sort of diminish their capability, they're going to sabotage their momentum, they're going to, basically screw up their life, we know that we feel almost compelled and certainly capable of interacting in some way with them, intervening in some way, whereby they snap out of this sort of, hypnotic state that they're in, and they realize what they're supposed to be doing. So getting back to our relationship with ourselves, well, what is it exactly that you think we're supposed to be telling ourselves day in and day out? Is it to help everybody else over helping ourselves? This illogical sort of position and premise is very, very common when people have an aversion to making money. And, I'm not doing this for the money. Well, why not? I'm doing this to help people. Well, can't you help people with more money? And as if there is it's this or that. And I think it's really a question of scale. People don't understand that when it comes to, and I'm not even going to share my position on Russia, Ukraine. Like, I don't even, to tell you the truth, I haven't developed the position to the point where I'm even comfortable sharing it if I wanted to, because I got shit to do. Now, if somebody wants to have a conversation with me about, well, bullies are bad, and it's like, well, okay, well, we don't have to be connected to a specific, scenario to talk about are bullies bad, to define what a bully is, define what bad is. Like, we could have productive conversations, but when we're talking about a specific application, requires a little bit more specific information. I'm not comfortable with the level of information that I have, so I really just don't invest in trying to come up with some sort of premise based on this limited, maybe even misleading information that I have. All that being said, when it comes down to helping anybody, how is it that you think that one thinks helping themselves should not be the priority? I remember a couple of years ago when the powers that be shut down society, there were a lot of people, clamoring about how we needed people locked down, we needed people, off the streets, and, all these, what now we pretty much understand were draconian and oftentimes just completely unnecessary edicts, put forth by those in power. There was a time where I was on social media saying, well, you realize that if you tell people they can't leave their homes, that affects everybody differently. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but there is still this misunderstanding, and people want to claim to be empathetic, which there's some sort of, irony and hypocrisy in, talking about how empathetic you are. Yeah, but when you look at what these lockdowns did early on to the single mother who was living check to check, who lived in an apartment building, and suddenly, she was told that she shouldn't leave the house. She said, well, there's a certain point where she needs food. There's a certain point where, like, her survival is dependent upon her going outside, which means that it's always going to be a matter of decisions based on options and risks. Which risk is greater? The risk of going outside and catching something, remember the mindset of what it was back then, or, a little bit more in the face of this single mother. How do I get food for my children? So the people who don't understand that these decisions, these broad decisions affect that, they get lost in their own sort of incestuous, I know how to make the world better. And then they ask themselves to find answers to do that without ever taking any feedback from the outside world. So what does this mean when it comes to our positions on these foreign disputes? Well, it's still going to be a matter of, if you want to help somebody, help them in a way that your capabilities can actually directly influence the outcomes that they're experiencing. You want to go and help Ukraine? Go help Ukraine. Like, okay, get a flight, get a, find your way over there. If you want to help Russia, go help Russia. Find your way over there. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is, regardless of what your position is, if you're telling me that you are actually helping these people while you are broke, unhealthy, alone, unproductive, lazy, like when you have all of these just deficient, negative, bad attributes on an individual level, just how much help do you think you're going to provide? It's like, I have 4 children. It would be like my 6-year-old daughter telling me that, here, I'm going to give you 30 cents towards the bills. I'm giving you some money towards the bills. Like, listen, I appreciate the sentiment, but that's not going to do anything to help the bills. And there's a certain argument where I would share with my daughter, like when it is time for you to help with the bills, whether it's your bills, the home's bills, whatever, I hope you're bringing more than 30 cents to the table. Because in the real world, 30 cents ain't doing nothing. So, in conclusion, we have people right now that they want to have a position. They want to share publicly a position on something that they have no direct influence over, while at the same time, while simultaneously having all of these apparent deficiencies in their own lives that they do have a direct influence over. It's like two guys arguing a basketball game, a football game, arguing over the game last night. They should have did this. And it's something that, if there is some sort of catharsis you're getting out of that, participating in that thing, then okay, I guess, but chances are the time you spent investing in that, there's a point of diminishing returns whereby you are now spending more time and resources in this endeavor that could have been invested in improving those deficiencies you have on an individual level. So I hope that made all that all made sense. I'm trying to make more videos and trying to share these points a little bit more frequently. So let me know what you think of this. If you disagree, agree. If you have any questions regarding it, I could always do follow-up stuff. But regardless of that, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I think that's it. I should have all relevant links down in the description. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you later.